All right, awesome. So, reading and writing from files. You know what files are, right? You know what files are, right?
Yes.
Okay. So files are like um ah I don't want to say files are like files, right? But they're documents. Yeah, let me call them documents. The documents that have information in them. Yeah, different types of files, right? There is the TXT files, that's our text files. There's the JSON file. There is the CSV file. There are other files like XML and INI. Even this is a file. This .py is a file, right? There are .py files, there are .html files, .css files, different files out there. All right. But we can read from some of these files, right? We can write codes that would read from these files, right? Why do we need to do this? The importance of file handling in real world application is extensive, right? Um, some of the files handling can be used for logs, like to log what is happening in your software, right? You can log them into a file. You can write them into a file and get that file and start reading through the logs to see, oh, okay, this is what happened at 9 a.m. This is what happened at 10 a.m. Logs. You can use files for configurations about our softwares. We can use file to import data into our software, right? So you want to import usernames or user details, you can use files for that. Probably you have like 1,000 user details and you don't want to type them. You don't want to go number one. Let me see. You don't want to go number one, John Doe. Number two, Jane Doe. When you know you have like 1,000 people, right? You can use a file to import those information into um, into your system, right? You can also use a file to export information. So information on maybe analytics and records of users and business and all of that. You can export them into a file and then send them to somebody. So these are like reasons why you would need a file, right? I know you've saved files before. Maybe you wrote a document and you saved them. Even this your main.py, you've saved those files. You see that files are very necessary. And we've also talked about their formats. So when we want to now read from a file, reading from a file is like you have a file called, let me create a file first. I'm going to create a file called um, name.txt. Now inside this file, I'm going to say Jane Doe, John Doe, and Fred Doe. Right. So I have this file. It has three names, basically. If I want to read from the file, normally all I need to do is click on it and I would read from it. If I want to write from to it, all I need to do is write into it, George Doe, right? But what if I want to do this using code, right? You can use code to read from your file and then you can have what is inside there written out, right? So let's do something. Read from, let's just show attempts to read from a file. Read a file. So what I want to do is let's just show the example code, right? The example code is with open. What am I open? Example.txt, but what I'm opening is name.txt. So let's go name.txt. That is this file. Then R, which means read as file, right? And I'll say the content. I will read the file, read the file into content and print the content. So let me do this. Do not find platform independence. Okay. This is the information that has been dropping since. I'm not sure why it's been dropping in. So can you see Jane Doe, John Doe, Fred Doe, George Doe, right? Um, I can also do things with this, right? I can say names and name is, and do this like this. And say name is Jane Doe, name is John Doe, name is, you can see the time it's taking to even um drop the distance because it's reading from a file, right? It's reading from a file. So it's going to take time to read into the file, get the records, and then post it to names are Jane Doe, John Doe, Fred Doe, and George Doe. So that's how we read from a file. It's so simple. Just remember with open, get a file, then what you want to do, read as file, right? Then file.read. This file can be anything. I can say read as text, right? And then I'll say text.read and read it into contents, and it will still work the same way. I can say read as F, right? But most times, because it's a file, just leave it as read as file, right? So that's how to read a file. But what if I want to write into a file? I want to write into this file. I'll do the same thing. Write to a file. I can say with open, then do name.text. Okay. Then, because I'm writing, I'll say W as file, right? So now it's telling me to write all of these other things, but I already have John Doe inside, Jane Doe inside, Sam Smith. So let me put Sam Smith, then put Frederick Tame, Frederick Tame, and finally write one other person, House Fleming, right? So let me do something now. I'll read before I write, then read again to see what will happen. Um, let me do something to show where we are at. Print, reading. Then this will be writing. Then finally, this will be reading. Good. So we know where we are at in each of the steps. So you see, reading, it reads Jane Doe, John Doe, Fred Doe, George Doe. Then he wrote, then he read again. Jane Doe, John Doe, Fred Doe, George Doe. Hold on. Why is it not writing? Let me see. Not writing. As W, as file. Then file dot writes. Name dot text. Oh, okay, sorry. I wrote dot text. Sorry. It's supposed to be dot txt. All right, so you see, Jane Doe, John Doe, Fred Doe, George Doe, writing, now change it to House Fleming, Frederick Dane, Sam Smith, which is 3. So if I go inside now, you see I've changed what was inside. So this, right? So now, uh, what happened was it changed what was inside. So what if I don't want to change what was inside, right? I want to just append to it. So I'll read, let me change it back to Jane Doe, John Doe, Sam Doe and George Doe. So I'll read this, change it to this, read it, then let me append. This will be appending, so that means adds to it. Appending will be A. I think A is for append, right? So now be coming. So it should be file dot append, I think. Let's confirm, right? So I'll change this to Jane, John, George, right? So now that's for appending. Then I'll read it again. What's it saying? Okay, so I think we'll just leave it as right. If it's gonna work. Okay, so this is append to a file. Okay, so let's try this. Let's play it. All right, so Jane Doe, John Doe, Sam Doe, George Doe. Then he now removed it and did House Fleming, Frederick Thames, Sam Smith. Then it appended House Fleming, Frederick Thames, Sam Smith, Jane Fleming, John Doe, John Thames, George Smith. So basically, if I don't want to remove what was inside, all I need to use is the append, which is the A, right? Then R for read and W for write. Write changes everything that's inside. Basically. Um, what else do I point out now? Okay, so let's try something. Read a file line by line, then write those lines to a new file in upper case, right? So want to copy from one file and write to a new file, basically, right? So let's see how we do it. So now be good, right? So we have this our name, the text, which would be House Fleming, Frederick Kim, all of these things. But you see that they're not in uppercase, right? The first letter is only was in uppercase, but we want everything to be uppercase. So we say file.read lines. Normally what we're doing before is file.read. But now read line will now make it will give this will be an array. So let me show you. Before we do anything, I'll do print type of type of, let me see, type of lines, right? Yeah, so see what we get. Then that line we can now loop through it because it's an array. Then the new file, which will be new upper dot text, new file will now write all the line, but to upper, right? To uppercase. So let's see it. Just keep your eye here and see what will happen. See, we created a new file, basically. And you see, the type is list. Type is a list, which is a type of an array, kind of. Right. So if we open this new file, you see everything now is in capital letter, right? So this is how you work with files. files are not difficult to work with. They are easy to work with, right? So that's basically it. Do you have any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right. All right, good. So now the next part we're going to be looking at is exception handling. Basically, our class today is going to be very straightforward, but let's see. Exception handling. I know you've done this before. You see, um try this, then do this, and except you see file not found error, do this, then uh then let me see finally. Okay. So now let's comment out all of this, guys. I'll send the code to you at the end of the class. Don't worry. Let me just comment everything. Okay, good. So basically, what will happen here? You see that the file can be read because the file is there, so nothing will happen. Just the top place and the finally block will execute, right? So this top place reads the file, but this file not found was not printed because this place catches error and stops your file from your system from not crashing, right? So if I do this now, you'll see that it will print file not found, finally block executed. But let me try something. Let me just do this and do this. Awesome. So now let's play this and see what will happen. You see, it threw this error, file, blah, 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 blah. We open them as file, file not found error, no such file or directory name.txt, right? So it threw this error, but if we put it inside our try catch block, let me remove the finally for now, because it's still going to work fine without the finally, right? It's going to just print it as if nothing happened, file not found, basically, right? Now, let me show you another advantage of this exception handling. Let me leave this here. See what happened. Found not found and reading is what's going to be printed. But let's say I remove the try catch block and rearrange this, then press play. You see what will happen. You see, no reading. Reading was not printed to the console. The reason is because your system just crashed. So everything after here, if I like, let me put 5 reading, 10 reading, nothing would happen after that point where it crashed. So the advantage of exception handling is it stops your system from crashing. Let me show you now. Let me bring back our exception handling. Good. Play this now. You see that it will just tell you found not found, and every other thing will go until it gets to the end, right? Process finished. We're not saying that before. So it's very good to handle exceptions. The reason is that your system would not crash when you handle exceptions properly. So anywhere that you feel that there's going to be an error, wrap that place in a try except block, right? So you see that it's working now. Now your except block can work with different types of errors, right? So it could be a file not found error, it could be something else, right? let's see. Let's see if we can find something else. Um, for for I in range 10, print this, raise a value error, then accept value error as a um, print cut exception, right? So I'm saying that if we get to 5, raise a value error, right? Which is going to just create an error. The error did not come from the system. I'm the one that created the error, right? So now you see how it will handle the error. See, cut an exception, an error occurred, right? Because I cut this value error, right? Um, but what if I want to do, let me see if I can create another type of error. Let me try something else. Sorry, not I, B, range I. I have to say B divided by I. Uh, okay. F equals to B divided by I, then print F. So I'm trying to see if I can create an error. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can create an error. Let me remove an error that I'm not catching because now the error I'm trying to catch is value error. That's what will happen. It works fine. Um, okay, change that to hold on. A plus B, I plus B, I plus B. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can create a different type of error. Uh, oh, you know what? Why am I doing that? Let me let me do this. So I can raise a value error, then try to catch a different type of error to see what will happen. Right. So I'm raising a value error, but I'm trying to catch a file not found error. So let's see if it's going to catch it. See, it's not going to catch it, right? It says raise value error and error occurred once it got to 5, and that's the end. It didn't do anything after that, basically. Right. So what can we do in this scenario? We can do this. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, hold on. I wanted to catch a general error, so just give me a second. Sorry, it's supposed to be exception, not error. Right. So catch exception as E, right? So this one would catch any type of error. You understand? Right. So even if it's value error, if it's index error, it's catch it, right? So as you can see, caught an exception, right? So if you don't know the type of error that you're catching, then just catch the exception and then you should be able to work with it. Do you have any questions?
No. But what is that? I thought they used to use except ERR to catch all the type of error. I never knew it was exception.
Like this?
Capital letter E.
Like this?
Capital letter E.
Oh, okay. Like this?
Something like this. Yeah.
So basically, notes. What they do is this. You can now do it like this. When you catch it, you can catch it as ERR, then use that ERR. You understand? So can you see to still catch it?
But what is the use of that as
So
ERR?
so it's like
There's no use of it
I'm
there.
catching it, but I'm giving it a name, right? I'm giving it a name. So the exception has been caught, but what do I know the exception as? So it can be ERR, it can be F, it can be anything. I can name it F. So that as is saying, what am I naming it as? The same way here. Say open this thing as fine. I can call this ERR even and to still work, basically. So at the end of the day, that's just the idea. As what's the name that you're calling it?
But it's not being printed on the console.
It is, see it here, caught an exception, an error occurred. So caught an exception, colon, the exception is an error occurred, right? There might be some things inside there. Let me see dot what. Let me see dot what. Let me see. So there are some things here. Dot class, what's the class? You can see what's the class, so many other things, basically. Right? So, but let me see what is suggested. So class dot name. Let's see what this going to print now. So cut an exception, index error. So the name of the exception is index error. There are so many other things I can also print there. Once you check inside this F, like what is it? You understand? So yeah, it's printing it. Are you there?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So yeah, so that's that for try catch or try except. That's exception handling, right? Now, working with JSON and CSV files. So when we worked earlier on, we worked with text, right? But there are some other files like JSON file and CSV file. So I even wrote into this name.text that time. So let's delete all of this. Let's delete them. Not sure why they're not deleting. Let me try again. Oh, okay. Same with usage files. Okay, let me just leave them because of the files here. So what let's do this. Let's create a file. We're gonna call this names dot CSV. CSV means comma separated value, right? So Jane Doe, you have to use comma to separate them.
Wait, I did not hear you. CSV means what?
Comma separated values. Let me show you. Let me write it down. Comma separated values. So they are separated by commas. John Doe, Fred Doe, mint, ramen, trusts, Fleming. Right? So this is a CSV file. So now let's read from this CSV file and see. Read from a CSV file. So it's gonna be almost the same thing. So names.csv is our name. As file, want to read from it. Then basically we use reader. Hold on. So we have a live, we have um a module called CSV that we use for reading CSV files. So I'm going to bring that module here, right? Then this reader, then file gives you the reader. Then the reader is a list as well. Then you cannot get everything inside there and print them. So as you can see, printed as a list, Jane Doe, John Doe, Fredo, Mint, and all of that stuff, right? So let me remove this one first. Now let's make this even better. So the header, let's do this. Serial number, name, father, mother, brother, sister. Okay, so let's do this right. Father, mother, father, name, father, mother, brother, sister. Okay, that's good. So let's do more like this. So CSV is also like um um sorry. They are also like Excel files. You know Excel files, right?
Yes.
All right. So CSV are also like Excel files, right? So this is what is printed. But if I were to let me open the same file. Let me open the same file on my system. You see, it's going to open. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me get the file. Right, so let's see. So let's go into Python week 5 names. Right. So you see the sign here, it's saying Excel. Right. So if I open it, you see it's going to open. It's going to open like an Excel file. So you see. So you see, it's saying it exactly like an Excel file. That's what CSV is. If I were to open this up like this, can you see? So you can also write into this Excel file um, with code as well as read it from code, right? So let's write into it. Um, write an Excel file. Okay. So let me open this now. So normally, remember when you write, it scratches the whole thing and starts all over from the beginning. It's even telling me permission denied. Line 8C. Why is it saying permission denied? It's not allowing me to write into the file. Let me see. Maybe it's because the file is open. Let's try again. Could not find platform independent libraries prefix. Okay. Let's see if I did something there. Let's see. All right, awesome. So it's written to it. It was denied because the file was open. So as you can see, name, age, John 30, and it was able to write into it, right? Um, and also print from it, so to speak. So this is let me do something. Name, age, gender, gender, um, height, and weight. I want to fill it up with some few things. Height, weight, skill. Then let me do SN. Right. So let's do one. Jane Doe, 19, female, height, 156, weight, 67, skill, singing. Let me see. Two, John, John Doe, 23, male, 167, 75, dancing. So let's leave this two. Now, what do I add to it? Gender, height, weight, skill. Let's do that here. Gender, gender, height, weight, skill. Right. So let's see if it's going to allow me to do this. Gender should be male. Height should be this. Let me play like this. Jane should be male. Height should be this. Sam should be male. The rest should be this. Judge should be male. The rest should be this. Then, what is this? Frederick, male as well. All right, good. So now if I play this, it's going to read the first one and it's going to write, right? See, reads the first two that's inside there and write. So now, if we open it, this CSV file, you see it's changed what was in there, right? So we can also do the append. You can try the append on your own, but that's for CSV file. What if we want to read from a JSON file, right? I'll show you what a JSON file is in a bit. Write from a JSON file. I mean, still here, I'm just trying to clean up this thing. Then I should be able to import JSON the way I was able to import CSV, right? So I can do this. Then with open names.json, write as file, then I can now write this. All right, so let's leave it like this first. It's complaining, but first off, let's get names.json created. So by next week, when we start going into what's it called again? Forgotten. When we start going into Django, you would start understanding what JSON is, right? Um, but let's let me leave it like this. Let's see what we have. Names of JSON. So let's print this first. So Fred Flintstone was printed. Then we now added John, James, Sam, George, and then we printed it again. So we now have John, James, Sam, George, Frederick, right? So, but let's check the JSON file. See, it's now John, Jane now, right? So a JSON file is a file that can use to communicate between services, right? Most times when you build an API, response that is given back is a JSON file. Sometimes a JSON file is not like this. Sometimes a JSON file is an object that looks like this. Name, Fred, right? Sometimes a JSON file looks like this, right? Age 30, occupation rates, all these things, right? So sometimes this is what your JSON file looks like, right? So I'm going to just remove all of this and just print that JSON file. As you can see, hold on. So we have name Fred, where is it? Hold on. Names of JSON, print item. Let's remove all of these other ones first, so I will know what's being printed. Okay, great. So names the JSON, read. Let's play this. Let's see. Name, age, occupation, hobbies, address. What's happening? That's not what's inside now. Names the JSON. Names the JSON. Let's see. Uh, name, age, occupation. Item, data file. JSON download file. Name, age. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's printing this part, right? So I could also say item dot uh let's see, it's gonna print the item dot value. Let's see. So no values. It's supposed to print the value, not the distance. So item, hold on, let me see. Give me a second. Okay. So it's supposed to print yeah, so it's supposed to be data dot values. So we're supposed to get the values. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Right? So we can do this to print the item, then print the value as well, right? And let's see what happens. So as you can see, name, age, address, now Fred 30 engineer, this and this, right? Which is the values. Fred 30 engineer, this and this, as you can see. So that's how you can read from both JSON and CSV. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Are you sure? Because you're going to be getting an assignment from this one.
No, I understand the concept.
All right, awesome. Awesome. Okay, good. So that's basically what we're touching on today. It's not so much. It's technical, but not so much. It's very easy to work with, right? All you need to do, open the file, use the command you want to use. If it's read or if it's write, then you can now read from it or write into it, basically. So I'm gonna send this to you as well, so you can use it. Let me do that now. So far, do you have any other questions um, from any of the other classes?
Yes, about that assignment that I did that was supposed to submit last week. I mean,
Okay.
last 2 weeks.
What's the
There,
question?
there was something that somebody used that I actually did not understand.
Have you submitted it?
No.
Okay. So you want to share your screen and show me?
Okay, yes.
All right, share your screen then.
I cannot share my screen. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see your screen.
I said I cannot share it.
Oh, okay, okay, sorry. Let me do that now. You can share now.
This part.
Okay.
If I were to remove this thing,
Mm.
this checking account will not work. It will throw an error.
Where's the checking account?
Here.
No, like where did you create it?
Okay, okay. Checking account is a subclass of the account.
Okay, so you created it here.
Even this part too, I don't really get it. But this is my main concern. What's the meaning of that if underscore underscore name underscore underscore is equals to main underscore underscore main underscore underscore?
Put it back up. Let me see. Put that stuff that you said if you removed.
Yeah. Underscore name underscore underscore is equals to underscore underscore main underscore underscore. If it was not here, is this error that we given? But this saving account will actually work, but the checking account will not work.
Okay, hold on.
So
So this is my bank .oop. Do you have a main.py file?
No.
Okay. Anyways, you use it to block modules and functions that you create, sure. So basically what it does is it's, how do I put it now? So what I'm even asking is because I'm trying to understand everything that you did is inside this file, right?
Yes.
Okay, scroll to the top again and come back down. Okay, so you have your class account. You have another class called savings account. It's methods in it. You have another class called checking account. Okay, scroll to the top first. Scroll back up. Scroll back up. Okay, so you have this class, this account. Yeah, now scroll back down again. You have this savings account. You have checking account. Okay, so now stop at this checking account. This instruction for this thing, what was the instruction? Checking account with $5 fee per withdrawal. Okay. Okay, scroll again. Now say if, yeah, hold on. If name is equal to main, savings is savings account. Uh, checking is checking account. Okay, scroll down again. No, not up, down, down, down. Like to the end. Okay. So I'm not sure why it's doing that for you, really, because both of those files are not imported. Normally, it's supposed to block imported modules um, that are not from the same file, right? Because that name, what the name takes is the name of the file, right? So um, you're checking if the name of the file is equal to main. But this file is my bank, but this thing. So what will happen is maybe you send me this code Then I'll review it and I'll explain it for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, so send it to me. You can submit it. You can submit it on the Google Classroom. Then when I check it out in the next class, I'll check it for you. I'll explain it.
Okay, sir.
Is that fine?
Yes.
But also expect what's this thing called? Also expect um your assignment for this one, for this today's class today. Expect it tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And it was nice enjoying class with you.